Welcome to your Health Facts podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a really important vitamin, one that's often overlooked,
Hmm.
but it plays a really, really vital role in longevity and just your overall health in general.
Right.
And that is vitamin B1, also known as thiamine.
Yes.
Now, consider this kind of alarming statistic. Dementia rates in America, they're actually increasing.
Yeah.
And this is despite all the advancements in medicine.
It's surprising, isn't it?
It is, and it really contrasts with what's happening in a place like Singapore.
Mm,
Their rates are actually declining.
that's interesting. So what are they doing differently?
Well, it really highlights something that's often missed, in this whole conversation about dementia prevention.
Right, right.
There's no magic pill or anything like that.
No, of course not.
But a critical deficiency in one specific nutrient, vitamin B1, this is actually a guaranteed path, not only to dementia, unfortunately, but also to heart failure and even death.
It's really that serious, huh?
It is. So what if the answer to preventing these conditions, right, and boosting longevity could be found in just this simple, affordable vitamin?
Well, it's definitely something to consider, that's for sure.
It is.
So vitamin B1, it acts as what we call the rate limiting step, in energy production from carbs and fats.
Okay.
This means that the availability of thiamine, it directly dictates how efficiently your body converts those essential nutrients into, usable energy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and the importance of thiamine, it was actually recognized pretty early on.
Hmm.
This led to government-mandated fortification of grains with this vital nutrient.
Oh, wow.
And here's the ironic part. Many people who, they oppose taking supplements, they're unknowingly consuming thiamine every day.
Really?
Yeah, because of this fortification.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the issue isn't really the presence of thiamine. It's more about the insufficient amounts that are present in modern diets.
Right, right. Okay, so let's take a look at the most popular food globally, I guess you could say.
What's that?
White rice.
Oh, yeah.
Now, despite, how common it is, white rice is it's essentially a nutrient deficient ultra-processed food.
Interesting.
Have you ever, stopped to think about how white rice, it seems like a natural grain, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
But how could it actually be detrimental to your health?
That's a good point. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, so back in ancient Asia, white rice was considered food for the elite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a symbol of status and wealth.
Wow.
But the way they produce white rice, it involves removing this thiamine-rich bran layer.
Hmm.
This extends the shelf life, makes it last longer.
Right.
But it creates a food that's far removed from its natural state.
I see.
And historically, this has led to some pretty wide-scale nutritional deficiencies.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So modern lifestyles, they actually make this problem even worse. They deplete those already low thiamine levels even further.
How so?
Well, take alcohol consumption, for example.
Yeah.
Alcohol leads to the production of acetaldehyde,
Right.
which is a known carcinogen and a neurotoxin.
Wow.
And at the same time, it reduces your thiamine absorption.
Oh, man.
High heat cooking also plays a role,
Okay.
particularly baking with baking soda.
Right.
It degrades thiamine, so it diminishes the amount that's actually available in the final product.
So even if you're eating something that you think is healthy, it might not actually have all the nutrients you think it does.
Exactly. And even consuming raw seafood.
Okay.
This introduces what we call thianases.
Thianases.
Yeah, they're enzymes that actively break down thiamine in your gut.
Oh, wow.
And all these depletions, they kind of accumulate over time.
Right.
It's kind of like a accruing credit card debt,
Oh, I see.
It creates what we can call this nutritional debt, this deficit that impacts everything.
Like what?
Well, your energy levels, your mood, your decision making, really your overall health.
Man, that's scary.
It is, and the long-term damage from thiamine deficiency, it's insidious.
What do you mean?
Well, it progresses slowly,
Hmm.
and it often leaves these permanent scars
Oh, wow.
on various bodily systems.
The devastating effects of dementia, they're often overlooked until those late stages of the disease.
It's true.
And I've personally witnessed the struggles
Yeah.
and the denial that families face when they're grappling with a loved one's cognitive decline.
It's a tough thing to go through.
It is. And this experience really, it underscored to me the importance of vitamin B1, for brain health.
Right.
And the profound impact that even seemingly small nutritional deficiencies can have over time.
It's easy to underestimate those things.
Yeah, it is.
So, vitamin B1 deficiency, it impairs energy production from all sorts of essential food sources.
Like,
Glucose, fats, proteins, you name it.
oh, wow.
Thiamine, it plays this crucial role as a coenzyme in these metabolic pathways,
Like what?
the Krebs cycle, the pentose phosphate pathway.
Okay.
And these processes are essential for converting the nutrients we consume into ATP.
ATP, that's our body's primary energy currency, right?
That's it. And without enough thiamine, these processes, they falter.
Hmm.
It impacts not just your energy production, but also, like we said, cognitive function, your nerve health, your mood regulation, everything.
It's all connected.
It really
You know,
is.
it's kind of like those healthcare workers who are constantly using hand sanitizer,
Right.
all that dryness and irritation.
Yeah.
It's not just skin deep,
Yeah.
it kind of reflects a deeper issue, I think,
Oh, interesting.
with their internal metabolic health.
Okay.
And similarly, these seemingly small, repeated, insults from these nutrient deficiencies,
Right.
like not having enough thiamine,
Mm-hmm.
they can build up over time
Yeah.
and lead to some pretty significant damage in the brain
Of course.
and other vital organs.
Absolutely. So the recommended daily allowance, the RDA for thiamine, it's shockingly low.
Is it?
Yeah, it doesn't really take into account, the demand of modern lifestyles and our dietary habits these days.
Right.
And this inadequacy, coupled with all those factors that deplete thiamine levels, it raises some serious concerns,
About.
Widespread but often undiagnosed thiamine deficiency.
Wow, that's a big problem.
It is, and unfortunately, awareness and research surrounding thiamine, they kind of lag behind its actual importance.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's really crucial for people to, take ownership of their thiamine intake
Right.
and understand what it means for their long-term health.
My father, he always recognized the importance of vitamin B1,
Good for him.
and he made it a point to take it every single day,
Smart man.
just as a foundational health practice.
It's a simple thing, but it can make a big difference.
I can.
And beyond thiamine, there are other essential nutrients that play a huge role in longevity and overall health.
Like what?
Well, omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D, for example,
Okay.
they work really well with vitamin B1.
Synergistically, right?
Exactly, creating this powerful trifecta for optimal health.
Interesting.
And there was this recent Swiss study, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that showed just how impactful these supplements can be in combination,
Mhm.
really highlighting their potential to slow down biological aging.
That's amazing.
It is.
I've actually experienced low vitamin D levels myself.
Really?
Yeah, and it really made me understand just how important it is to get tested regularly
Right.
and supplement if necessary.
Yeah, it's often overlooked,
It is.
but vitamin D deficiency can have a huge impact.
On what?
Your brain health, your memory, your mood.
Hmm.
It can even contribute to conditions like multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease.
Wow.
Omega-3 fatty acids are crucial too, especially DHA and EPA.
Okay.
They're essential for your brain health, cognitive function, mood regulation, you name it.
So these are the good fats, right?
Exactly. They're actually part of your brain cell membranes, so they influence how well your brain cells communicate and just the overall structure of your brain.
And what happens if you don't get enough omega-3s?
Well, it's been linked to brain shrinkage, inflammation, and a higher risk of cognitive decline.
That's not good.
Not at all. And it's really important to keep your omega-3 and omega-6 intake balanced.
Why is that?
Well, these fatty acids, they actually compete for absorption in your body.
Ah, okay, I see. So the brain, it's what, about 60% fat, right?
Yep.
So it relies heavily on DHA, which is a key omega-3.
Right. It's a major structural component of brain cells.
And I know omega-3s are really important for fetal brain development, right?
Absolutely.
But they continue to play a role in cognition throughout life, right?
They do. They do. Consuming enough omega-3s can actually enhance synaptic plasticity.
Synaptic plasticity.
Yeah, it's your brain's ability to change and adapt.
Ah.
And it also improves communication between neurons.
So the better the communication, the better the brain function.
Exactly. Higher DHA levels are linked to better memory, faster thinking, and even better problem-solving skills.
So it's like brain food.
It really is.
But what about if you don't get enough? You said it can lead to cognitive decline.
It can, yeah, and it increases your risk of developing dementia.
That's scary.
It is, but adequate omega-3 intake, it helps lower inflammation in the brain.
Okay.
And if that inflammation isn't kept in check, it can contribute to all sorts of chronic inflammatory diseases.
Right.
So protecting your neurons from free radical damage, that's another key benefit of omega-3s.
Okay.
And it's crucial for maintaining good cognitive function and just overall brain health.
EPA, that's eithosapentaenoic acid, right?
That's right, another important omega-3.
And what does it do?
Well, EPA plays a big role in regulating neurotransmitters.
Neurotransmitters. What are those?
They're basically chemical messengers in your brain,
Okay.
like serotonin and dopamine.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Yeah, they influence things like happiness, motivation, focus, impulse control, attention, all that good stuff.
So if you don't have enough EPA, you're going to be less happy and less focused.
It's possible, yeah. Low levels of EPA and DHA are linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and mood swings.
Wow. So it really does affect your mental well-being.
It does. It does. In fact, people with major depressive disorders, they often have low omega-3 levels.
Really?
Yeah, so there's definitely a connection there.
Interesting. And what about DHA? Does it play a role in mental well-being too?
It does. DHA is actually crucial for producing melatonin.
Melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, right?
Exactly. So if you're low on omega-3s, you might have trouble sleeping.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's associated with poor sleep quality, insomnia, shorter sleep duration, all that.
Man, these omega-3s they're pretty important.
They are. They do a lot more than just help your brain, too.
Oh, like what?
They support healthy blood flow and blood vessel health, so they're good for your heart, too.
Okay, so it's like a win-win.
It is.
But, the typical American diet, it doesn't really provide enough omega-3s, does it?
Not really. And at the same time, we're consuming way too many omega-6s.
Which are the bad fats, right?
Well, not necessarily bad, but they need to be in balance with omega-3s.
Right.
And when they're not, it creates problems.
Like what?
Well, omega-6s can actually compete with omega-3s for absorption.
Oh, so it's like they're fighting for space in your body.
Kinda, yeah. And research has shown that people with lower levels of omega-3s, they tend to have smaller brain volumes.
Smaller brain volumes?
Yeah, it's similar to what happens as we age.
That's concerning.
It is. But, more research is needed to really understand how these fatty acids work together.
Of course.
But it's clear that balance between omega-3 and omega-6, it's crucial for brain health and cognitive function.
So going back to thiamine, it's obviously so important.
It is.
It begs the question, how do we make sure we're getting enough of it?
Right.
Especially with the RDA being so low and all the things that deplete it.
Exactly.
Supplementation seems kind of crucial, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. The current RDA just doesn't cut it. It doesn't account for all the processed carbs we eat and the lifestyle factors that deplete thiamine.
Right.
And it's hard to calculate exactly how much thiamine each person needs.
Yeah.
So supplementation is really the most practical way to make sure you're getting enough.
And luckily, thiamine supplements are pretty affordable, right?
They are. And safe, too. There's no known toxicity.
That's good to know.
It's a simple way to bridge the gap between what you're getting from your diet and what your body actually needs.
So would you say that thiamine supplementation should be like a foundational part of a good health strategy?
Absolutely. It's like laying the groundwork for overall well-being.
Okay.
We've seen what happens when people are deficient in thiamine.
Right.
And we need to learn from those lessons.
So it really comes down to, making those informed choices.
It does.
For a healthier and longer life,
Right.
prioritizing those essential nutrients like vitamin B1,
Yeah.
omega-3s,
It's important.
and vitamin D.
Definitely.
It's really an investment in our future well-being, isn't it?
It is. You're taking control of your health.
Yeah.
And it starts with understanding these crucial roles that these essential nutrients play.
Absolutely. So to learn more about all the topics that we've been discussing today,
Yes.
and to find a link to a reputable thiamine supplement,
Good idea.
you can visit our website, yourhealthfacts.com.
It's all there.
Thanks for joining us on the Your Health Facts podcast.
Appreciate it.
We look forward to diving deep into more fascinating health topics with you all soon.